I'm a leaver. I've left home, I've left school, I've left jobs, I've left a marriage, I've left pretty much everything there is to leave. And I've learned a few things about leaving. One, leaving does not equal failure. Leaving is sometimes the strongest and most rational decision you can make. Second, most people are really bad at leaving. Now, I know in this kind of an audience, you all know about leaving. Every single one of you has left something in your life. I also know that right now, each of you probably has something that you know in your heart it's time to leave, but you're just not making that decision yet. My question for you is, how much time are you willing to spend in this in-between place before you make a decision to move on to the next step of your life? I'm a psychologist. I've been in academia for 25 years. Academics move around. I'm very experienced at moving. But when I had a thought a couple of years ago that maybe it was time to leave academia, I was terrified, completely frightened. And here's how that conversation went. Here's me one day thinking about my job, and I said, I wonder if there's something else out there that would be more satisfying and more fulfilling than academia. And then what happened is the other part of my brain jumped on top of this. You have a good job. Why would you leave a good job? What are you going to do next? How are you going to pay your rent? And then the coup de grace, who do you think you are to say you're better than academia? Sound familiar? Yeah, this conversation is something that we all have when we first think of leaving, and it brings up every single fear. I only told you some of my fears. There's a whole bunch more than that. But that conversation is a really important conversation to have. And it describes the first step of leaving, which is that sense of awareness. So that little spark of maybe things would be better if I left this or that, usually followed by these huge shut it down statements that bring up every fear we've ever had. And what happens often is that spark just goes away. For most of us, though, it comes back. And then we have the same experience. And so what I recommend is to tolerate that anxiety, tolerate that feeling of what if and fears and what if and fears, and do that over and over again until you can really work with those fears and see what's there. Examine the evidence that's there with them. Because in that quiet, when you can quiet down the fears and the anxiety, that's when the answer will come to you. Now, maybe you go through that process and you decide, I want to stay. Great. Do it. Go for it. But if you decide, I might want to leave, then you can move on to step 2, which is really important as well. This is confidence. Not the confidence that if I leave academia, everything's going to be better and the birds will come out and the flowers are everywhere. Not that kind of confidence. The kind of confidence that says, no matter what happens, it will have been worth it. No matter what happens, it will have been worth it. And so what this means is that if I leave academia and go into a fantastic career and I'm delighted and happy and thrilled for the rest of my life, it will have been worth it. And if I leave academia and a year later decide I want to go back, it will have been worth it. And if I leave and everything is awful and I end up working somewhere I don't want to work, it will have been worth it because I made the choice to move forward with my life. Leaving is never easy. I've done a lot, and it's never a simple decision. It's never an easy thing. But what I want to leave you with is life is short. Life is going to be gone before we know it. How much of your time do you want to spend in this state of limbo, not making a decision, or not even thinking about a decision of something you want to leave? I recommend you take that step, start working on your awareness, work on your fears, work on your confidence, and move step by step into your destiny. Thank you.